According to Valve's own stated requirements for Counter-Strike 2, all of the video cards that you see on screen right now should make the cut for the minimum specs needed to play the game. We will put this claim to test in this video, and out of the entire TeraScale 2 family, we'll be focusing on only 3 of the cards. The HD 6850 and the HD 5770, representing the mid-range segment of this architecture, and the HD 6670, our previously hailed 720p hero, representing the entry level. I did not work on fixing back the HD 5870 unfortunately, so it will stay out of this one. As usual, we'll have these cards running in the same HP Z230 workstation, featuring an i7-4770 equivalent Xeon and 32GB DDR3 RAM, clocked at 1600 MHz and running in dual channel. And for any of you that suspect a CPU bottleneck for this test, well, we'll throw this little card in as well, for comparison. The first test consists of a bot match played in DiaDust 2 at 1080 resolution and low settings, at 100% render scale. The HD 6670 considers CS2 to be a movie, and it tries to play it at frame rates that suit that. Unfortunately, this is a bad movie, since not only the average of 25 FPS is terrible for this online shooter, but also the 1% lows are pretty bad, at a value of 7. The HD 5770 does fare better at 38 FPS on average and 20 FPS for the 1% lows, but this is still not enough. As for the 6850, well, at 53 FPS on average and 30 FPS for the 1% lows, the card shows a glimmer of hope with regards to how the TeraScale 2 cards can fare in the game. Rendering at a lower resolution will most likely help, so let's see how well these cards run at 720 resolution. Well, the game crashed with the HD 6670. Even assuming the game to be pixel rate limited, even doubling the FPS that it got at 1080 won't make for a good online experience. The HD 5770, however, shows that the game is not pixel rate limited, averaging just 52 FPS, and with 1% loss of just 26. None of these numbers are double of what I got at 1080, so no need to shed tears over not retesting the HD 6670. The HD 6850, however, breaks above the 60 FPS mark on average, actually nearing 70 FPS. The 1% lows of 45 are acceptable and are not the reason for me playing the game like a boot. That's all raw natural gamer talent. So, the cake is a lie, and the minimum specs for CS2 are misleading, since just 1GB of VRAM and shader model 5.0 is no guarantee for an adequate experience. There is also a computation level that needs to be met, and the 800 shaders of the HD 5770 start to come in short. These old Radeon cards rely on esports titles to remain useful. Retiring CSGO and bringing CS2 in its place forces the lower half of the stack to take one more step from useful gear to museum piece. The upper half of the stack may still remain relevant, but at significantly higher power consumptions. Remember the tiny GT 1030 that I showed in the beginning? Well, that one scored 88 FPS on average and 48 FPS for the 1% lows, so the CPU can do better. To top it all, it didn't do it at 720 resolution, oh no. It did this at 1080 for less than 30 watts of power. Anyway, the lower tier of the GCN architecture is next. Since these cards already got a full revisit this year, we'll focus only on CS2 for them. Make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss it. But that's a topic for another video. As for this one, we're done. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you for the next one.